Good morning and good evening. Today, this is the next video message from the series, The Spiritual Awakening. And today I would like to talk about the pain of reality that we face in this world. Now, most of us, we wonder, sometimes we question, why is there suffering? And it started right from the beginning. I mean, we've always had doubts. When we look at people suffering or when we suffer, we go through a lot of emotional stress and physical stress in this world. And sometimes we would wonder, why is there ever pain? Why do people have to suffer? Why do I have to go through this? Why do I have to go through that? What am I supposed to learn from other people's suffering? And if there was a God, why is there suffering at all? Why does He allow people to suffer? Now, the whole thing about the word suffer as such is a word that victimizes us as mankind. Whereas the word suffer basically does not even really hold any positive value. If we were to look at it from another point, if we were to look at pain as a form of lesson, we would be able to understand this from a deeper level. Pain that we feel, that we experience, we see in others as well as we personally experience, is a very vital part of our evolution as souls of one consciousness. Pain that comes from others teaches us, as well as those who go through the pain, on how to evolve and how to cope. When you are going through a series of issues in your life, the reason why you're going through this is to teach others who will in future go through similar situations. We are all teachers. We are all guides. We leave behind footprints for others to follow. And that is because we are all part of the one consciousness. The person that you are inside today is the result of the hundreds of people, if not thousands of people and situations that you have experienced throughout your entire life till this moment, and even from now, from this moment onwards to as long as you are here in this incarnation. Every person and every situation presents a lesson for you to learn. Every person is a teacher, a guide. Irrespective of what they do or how long they stay, they will always leave something behind, and you as a teacher will leave something behind for others to follow. And that is how this consciousness functions. That is where pain plays an important role. Without your experiences, you cannot teach others. You cannot guide others. Your pain is like, for you, it's pretty much the lessons, the way that this world, this life of ours functions is very similar to the educational system that we have in this world. For generations to generations, we pass down information, knowledge, different subjects. The teachers who have taught us many decades ago have imbibed their knowledge in us. And we today, using that knowledge, have used those as tools to survive, and therefore we too will imbibe our knowledge in the future generations. And that is exactly how this one consciousness functions. Souls that have come here before, that have experienced pain, are the only ones who can explain this better than anyone else. Unless you go through suffering yourself, unless you go through certain abusive relationships, unless you go through certain kinds of lessons yourself, you will not be able to guide others. And by guiding others, it does not mean that you restrict them from evolving. It does not mean restrictions. You are showing the way. You're not taking them there. You're telling them there is a way. This is what I did. But that's not what you want them to do. You want them to also spread their wings and grow, to experience pain for themselves, to be able to transform their souls into that of a teacher again. And this is how it works, evolution. This is how it functions. This is how it's meant to be. When you see someone suffering, we watch TV and we watch the news and we see people suffering, going through immense poverty and hunger and all kinds of things. They go through a lot of issues. And we look at them. They are teachers in a form too. They teach us to empathize. They teach us to, feel sensitive towards suffering, towards pain. We are aware of that kind of suffering because they present it in that way to us. So you know that poverty is painful. Without their suffering, we would not know. So this whole structure that we call as our planet, our dimension, is a place, is a school. I always tell people that this is not home. No one ever feels like this planet is home because we don't belong here. We all came from different dimensions to study, to observe, to explore, to share, to love, and to teach. So this is where we're here. And while we're here, every single moment leads us to a form of lesson, to learn or to teach. And that does not mean that you do not love people in your life. That does not mean that you don't have other responsibilities. You do. But as spiritual beings, we are here primarily to teach and learn how to love, how to share, how to give, every single thing. A child learns by observing. Right from the age of 2, 3, they look at you, at every single thing you do. And that is why it is very important as parents to be responsible, very responsible as to how you live your life. And you are the role model before anything else, or before they're exposed to anything else in this world. You're the only one that they see. And this child would take after every single thing that you do. You are the role model. And that is why every parent has much more responsibility than just to bring the child into the world. That is just the beginning. I believe that the responsibility of a parent begins way before conception, because you're responsible for the kind of life you bring into this world even before you conceive. And the kind of partner you would like to raise this child with also matters. Now, what is more important here today, I'm going to say, is that just like a child looks up to you, learning starts very, very young. And also the fact that you also, as parents, adults, we learn from our children too. Because children, God looks at us through the eyes of children. And if you were to observe children, you will notice that there is so much more wisdom in that has been untouched by the laws of this dimension. And very simple things. I could give you one example. I used to have, I was speaking about this yesterday to someone during one of my guidance, life guiding sessions, and I was talking to her, and I said, there was something that I learned from my niece many years ago, when she was just 4 years old. Our dog had puppies. We had 6 puppies, and I was about to take 5 of them to the breeder to have them sold. And there were 6 puppies in total, and I told her, you can have one so we could keep one of the puppies. And I expected her to take one of the good looking ones, all the healthier ones. But instead she chose to take the one that was the weakest, the smallest. And I was shocked. I was like, why don't you take the healthier ones? Why don't you take the bigger ones? They're much more playful, they're much more energetic. And a 4-year-old looks up to me. She cuddles this little small fragile looking puppy and says, well, you know what? When you go and sell these puppies, the healthier ones will go. But nobody will take this little one because he's so weak. I want to take this little one because I'm sure he's our puppy. And I know that I will be able to take better care of him than anyone else would, because nobody would take him. Nobody would buy him. Whereas the others look cute and they look healthy and they're playful, so they would buy him, all the other puppies, but no one would buy this weak puppy, so I'm going to keep the puppy. We learn so much from children. We learn from God through children. Every single one of us is a teacher and a guide in a different way. And that is why I say there is no age, there is no caste, there is nothing that defines you, defines who a teacher can be and who a teacher cannot be. Every little situation, even abusive relationships, leave you feeling shattered and emotionally burnt out, drained. But that relationship would have left a lasting impact on you. He would have taught you about tolerance. He would have taught you about putting your foot down and being more independent, doing something. If that relationship was there, maybe you wouldn't have been so strong-willed. Yes, you feel, most of the times it's easier to take away the pain and remember that, and to live the rest of your life building up walls against people who would turn up in your life later on, but with better intentions, but you still keep the walls on. That is not the way you're supposed to deal with pain. You're supposed to be stronger. We tend to focus on all the wrong things when we come out of abusive relationships. The focus should be on getting stronger, not weaker. And in every other relationship, in every other situation, you should look for ways to build your strength and not your weakness. And that is one thing that life teaches all of us. And that is one thing we should teach our future generations. To use every opportunity, to use every experience to go stronger and not weaker. Pain is supposed to show how strong you are. Pain is not supposed to bring you down on your knees and keep you there. You can stay on your knees, but get up again. And spiritual development includes that. You need to get up on your feet. It takes you deeper into life. Spirituality is not there for you to, isolate yourself from reality. No, it's not. If that was the case, then there will be hundreds and thousands of people who will be looking for mountains and places of isolation to keep away from humanity. But that isn't the purpose at all. The purpose to evolve is to help others evolve, to be a light. And you cannot be a light if you keep focusing on the darkness. And pain is not darkness. Pain is a form of light that is disguised to help you to realize that there is something better if you would look beneath. So that is the message that I have for you today. If you were to ask, anyone asks you in future, why is there suffering if there's God? So God is not bothered about the suffering. No. God cares about the suffering. In fact, we all wanted the suffering so that we can learn. Each one of us is a representative of light. Each one of us came here to learn. We are here to imbibe love and patience and peace and a lot of other things, a whole lot of other things, to others, the future generations. And that is how we have evolved as mankind for many, many, many ages. Everything that you are today is a result of thousands and thousands and thousands and millions of people who have existed in this very, very dimension much, much longer before you and I have come. And some of us, of course, as we have incarnated, we have repeatedly been our own teachers as well. And we have grown because of others, and others have grown because of us. It doesn't work any other way. So without pain and without suffering, we will never appreciate the light. Without darkness, we can never learn light. We will never love light. We will never have the need to have light. We wouldn't understand why we need light if there is no darkness. So don't think that pain and suffering in this world is because God doesn't care or because of some other reason. All those who have been inflicting pain on others, they may be less evolved souls, but even as less evolved souls, they leave us with a message. They leave us with a message to be stronger. And that is the only thing you need to focus on. The pain that you have had in life should make you stronger. How? By going inside and believing that you're much bigger than that pain, as we all are. Thank you so much for sitting through with me for this session. I will be back with another video. God bless you. Namaste.